And welcome back. Say hello to author Ron Clements. He recently completed a new book entitled Road Trip America, a sport fan's guide to Route 66. Welcome.
Welcome,
Thanks for coming in. Journalist.
Yes, sir.
And have been one for quite a while. Even
about
well
20
before
years.
the book. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew Steve Savard back in St. Louis when we were both covering the Rams.
Oh, I'm sorry.
So you've been at USA Today, CBS Sports, we could go on and on and on, but you decide to write this book. Here it is, A Sports Fan's Guide to Route 66. If you open this, there's your route.
There's the Mother Road.
There's the Mother Road and all of your stops. And when you get into this book, you pretty much go to and stop at every last sports
because
place
it's the first ever sports book on Route 66, so I really wanted to make it as comprehensive as possible. So high school, college, pro, golf courses, rodeo arenas. Tulsa, Oklahoma has a big rugby scene, which I was not expecting. So, yeah, did I mention golf courses?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So, if you want to take your golf clubs on Route 66, here's a guide to help you find a spot to hit the links.
Well, at the end of each one of the chapters, you have a guide, kind of an index where all these different places are.
Yeah, there's a list of places with addresses. That was my publisher's idea, and it was a great idea because it really makes the book a handy travel guide. And I envision this thing as something, especially in international travel, who might not be familiar with the layout of the U.S.
Right.
Kind of a really easy travel guide that someone can take with them, and it has all the addresses and places. And
you say it in your GPS, you got it.
Exactly.
We get a lot of international travelers traveling Route 66. So you started in Chicago?
Correct.
Okay, and then you headed out west. To some degree, you had to have it planned out. But did you make some stops along the way that you said you didn't really see, like the rugby team, maybe?
Well, I didn't get to watch rugby because it wasn't in the season. But no, the
but
U.S.
you learn the things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
The U.S. Olympic rowing facility in Oklahoma City. That was a stop we made that we weren't intending on making. But unfortunately, it was a dreary, overcast day that day, so there wasn't any activity in the water. But I was surprised by the number of rodeo arenas between Cuba, Missouri, and Williams, Arizona.
Yeah, well, okay.
I guess part of me is not all that surprised. I don't know.
I kind of thought, well, yeah, figures. Now, the interesting thing I found when reading up a little bit about you, you and your wife went. You have been like RV bound for years doing this, it seems like. And you guys are, when it comes to certain sports, you're mortal enemies, really.
Yeah,
you're a Packer fan.
Yeah, this past Sunday was a little rough. I'm a Packers fan, and she's a Bears fan. Fortunately for me, over the last few years, I've had the better, the better end of that rivalry.
Don't start rubbing it in.
Don't speak too soon. You never know. How long did it take you to make the journey and get it all compiled?
We took 2 months to do the entire trip from Chicago to Santa Monica, and living full time in an RV, we were able to take our time and spend more time in various places. And then it was about another 8 months to write the book.
Now the pictures in the book, you took most of these, right?
Yeah, either me or my wife. The cover photo there, Soldier Field in Chicago. My wife gets credit for that one.
Nice.
That's sacred ground to people in Chicago, so good on her.
What a fun trip, though, that must have been. If you're a sports lover, that's like a dream come true gig for you. Has to be.
It's been pretty rewarding the last 3.5 years. Comes with its challenges living in an RV, but no, we've been able to do and see a lot in these 3.5 years.
And of course, the reason you're here is because people are going to get a chance to meet you. You can maybe talk a little bit about your book. What are you in town for exactly?
Tomorrow at the History Museum on the Square, I have a book signing from 1 to 3. So I hope you guys come out. It's actually going to be at the Fox Theater right next to the History Museum on the Square. So yeah, from 1 to 3 tomorrow, I'll be signing books. It's funny, I walked into the History Museum yesterday to set up a banner, and there was a woman walking out who had just purchased 2 copies of the book.
Oh, wow.
And she looked at me and she goes, "I'll see you Saturday." And I'm like, that's awesome.
I'll be darned. By the way, this
nice.
book was Men's Journal named it one of the top 20 books of 2021.
Yeah, that list came out in May, 3 months before the book got released, and that was a really big deal. I may have said a curse word in excitement when I saw that list. I went, holy. And,
I can imagine.
Yeah, it was a really big deal when you see your name on a list with James Patterson and Mitch Albom and Seth Rogen.
Not bad.
That is
Not
amazing.
Bad.
All right.
Thanks
Ron
for being
Clements.
with us, Ron.
Thank
His
you.
name.
We'll be
Author
right
of
back.
Road Trip America, a sports fan's guide to Route 66. Thanks so much. Good to see you.
Thank you.
Be right back.